Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T. Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Can't wait for you to meet Miss T. She is the T in T.
Okay, welcome back. I got something really good for you today. And I'm telling you this because I literally just went through this and then I coached one of my mentees through it. So I know this is going to help you. Have you ever wondered what is blocking you? Now, I know sometimes you can say, okay, it's this person, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have the education, when sometimes that's not actually the case. And so I'm going to give you two different scenarios. There's going to be a part one, part two in this thing. So I want to make sure that if you watch one, you watch the other, just so you can kind of fish interiorly to see if there's something that you've decided that's working against you, achieving your goals, achieving your dreams, and obtaining what is your destiny. Okay, so first things first. A handful of years ago, I made the decision to buy a building, and technically it's not a building, it's a collection of 4 buildings that make up 44,000 square feet. You might have heard me talk about it once or twice. Why? Because I'm so thrilled about it. This is something that I've been wanting to do by way of a legacy step. You know, my destiny is really truly to impact the entire globe in a very positive way, and this was one of my major leaps in that direction. And so when I made that decision, I'm telling you, all hell broke loose against me. And when I say all hell, I mean that. From people to finances, to press, it was just like one really gnarly experience after the other. And I had to, you know, sometimes you can look and say, this person's bad, or this is not right, or they should have helped me. But the blockage wasn't exterior this time, and I'm not stating that there's not blockages or things that will come into your path, obstacles that will try to stop you, because that's all true, and we could talk about that in another podcast. But this is all about the blocking that's happening in you. So when I realized like all these things were coming against me, one thing that I've learned to practice is, yes, you're in the thick of the battle, but sometimes you have to remove yourself from the battle so you can assess the elements of the battle, so you can come up with strategies that will help you win the battle. And so I took pause, I took a step out, and I really just got with myself. It was very overwhelming. I was, you know, really frustrated. I was afraid, and there was a lot of chaos at the time. And so I took, you know, a week actually, and I went and did some writing. I went and did some introspection, and the problem was most certainly in me. And the more I thought about it, the more I prayed about it, the more I talked through it with myself and with leadership that helped me and advised me, I was able to see that I made a financial commitment to another organization in a large chunk of money that I thought was very benevolent. I thought it was really kind. And at the time I made the commitment, I didn't have the prospect of a building and the great deal of financial responsibility, and just the responsibility period that comes along with acquiring a space and then serving hundreds, possibly thousands of people through this space. I didn't have that. And so I made this commitment premature to me getting the building. And what I ended up having to do is like, okay, I'd ask some questions about it. Why did I make that decision? Did I make that decision because, number one, they could use it and they could really do the right thing with it? Or did I make that decision because I had a likeness for them? They'd helped me over the years, and I wanted to do something nice for them. And so I had to get honest with myself. And I find that most often that is a challenge for people. Being honest with you, especially when you've erred, is not an easy thing. And I'll tell you, for someone like me, being able to, you know, just kind of make things happen, I've been guilty of that in the past, even if they're not the best thing for me or the organization or people. So I learned from my mistakes, but in this particular instance, I'm learning from an interior decision, which was a mistake. And so what I ultimately ended up having to do, once I could see it, and it was like an aha moment, you know, it's just like, oh, okay, I see that, you know, I made this commitment, I made this decision, and this decision is now going to affect, it's going to cause a ripple effect in everything that I have to do going forward. So one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, I had to go back to these people, and I had to tell them, I am no longer able to honor this particular commitment. Now, for someone like me, where honor is such a massive thing, where being a woman of my word is such a massive thing, I think that in this growth process, that was hands down one of the most challenging things, was to go back and say, I'm no longer able to do this way. And then, I was concerned about the backlash, which there was indeed some. So, there are people that I don't have relationship with as a result of making this decision today. There are people that have judged me incorrectly. There are people that have, really tried to tarnish my reputation as an honest person. But really, truly, the truth of the matter was, I wasn't secure enough or confident enough to say no when I should have said no. I said yes, because I wanted to be kind and I wanted to help, and I knew that they were in a tight place when the bottom line is it wasn't helping them, and it certainly wasn't helping me. And so in taking the time to step back, reevaluate what was blocking me from going forward, was this one commitment. I was able to see it, and then I was able to do some corrective work in myself. I learned that I have a tendency to want to bail people out or help people. And again, the more you start to practice these sorts of things, the more you'll learn you. And the more you learn you, the more you can maximize who you are. But it's also a way for you to maximize how you show up in other people's life as true help. And I realized that, I did this out of obligation rather than really helping them. Because the fact is, if I would have gave them the money, they wouldn't have learned to make money. And that's not helping them. And so they would need another bailout in another whatever number of months or years or something along those lines. So once I was able to pull back from the battle, assess things in the battle, get inside of myself and do some discovery as far as my why. What's my motive behind making this decision? And then going in and doing the corrective work, which is, it's just not going to work for this time. It's not going to work for this season. And, forgive me if this causes any challenge for you, but I will still work with you to help you work through this challenge time, because it's where I was some time ago and somebody walked me through it. They didn't necessarily welfare me through it. And so learning to do that more than the bailout process. And then the third thing I would add is it showed me a point of vulnerability in me. And if you've watched any of my other podcasts, especially when it talks about the company you keep, which I'm going to go over in part 2, sometimes givers attract takers. And you have to be one of those people that understand that because of your giving nature, because of your loving nature, because of your merciful nature, your kind nature, your compassionate nature, you will attract people to you that will draw on that thing. And so it's your responsibility, especially as it pertains to you building forward, upward, and strengthening you and whatever your destiny is, your goals are, your dreams are, your calling is. It's your job to be protective of you and your gifts so that you're not expressing them in situations, circumstances, and relationships where it's not really helping people, it's really handicapping people. And so that was a hard thing to realize about myself, because really, truly, my entire goal in life is to help people. And so when I realized that I wasn't helping them by doing this thing, I was actually handicapping them from being able to grow and sustain on their own. It made me reevaluate the kind of boundary system that I need to build around myself, the kind of leadership that I need to have in place in my company, who could be a little more protective of T, who just can't turn that part of herself off because it's not something I'm doing, it's a part of who I am. And so when you're talking about what is blocking you, sometimes you need to do a handful of things. So if you haven't written anything down yet, write these things down. Number 1, when you find yourself in a chaotic situation, a difficult situation where you cannot move forward and you're doing everything you know to do, stop. Pause. Take a step back. Remove yourself from the thick of the battle and assess things. Is this an exterior problem? Is this a seasonal or situational issue? Is this an interior problem, meaning you? Is this something that's making you pause, stop, so that whatever this decision is, it doesn't take you away from your destiny. You make the adjustment so it's continuing to push you towards your destiny, your goals, and your dreams. And so again, stop, pause, assess everything, inside, outside. And then the third thing is do the corrective work. Sometimes people can discover a thing about themselves, but they don't finish the task and correct the thing or correct the exterior activity that came from the interior decision. If you don't do this corrective work, meaning honor yourself, honor the people that you've made the decision that involves, whether it's your children, your family, your friends, the waitress at the diner, you're going to tip her this much, but you realize that's too much. You got to do the corrective work. Start with humility. Forgive me. I should not have done this. I was so excited about helping you that I made this decision, and I realize now that this is not the right decision for you or for me or for our outcomes. And then, let the chips fall where the chips fall. Don't be mad at yourself. I think that's another blocking agent. Sometimes you can be so angry with you that it causes you to block away good things, positive things, healthy things, and happy things because you made a mistake. Mistakes are a part of life. They should be causing you to grow, but they should not be stunting your growth. So if you make a mistake, an error, or you got to take your words back or take your decision back or your commitment back, it doesn't mean you're a bad human being. It means you're growing as a human being. You're growing in your gifts, your talents, and your calls. So, the hope and the prayer always is that this stuff's helping you. And when I ask things like what's blocking you, really, truly, most people don't ask that question. They just deal with the blockage, or they quit because of the obstacle or the blockage. But you want to start asking questions. Be very curious about you. Be very curious about where you're going and how you're getting there. Because if you don't become curious about you, learn you, what makes you tick, what makes you click, then I promise you, you won't reach your goals. You won't achieve the fullness of your destiny because you've missed some learning moments along the journey. And so again, I hope this is helping you. The prayer is that this is helping you. You're tuning in and watching this stuff. Hopefully you're taking notes, absorbing this, letting it crease you, and letting it make you a lot more decided about how you are going to assess things and show up in life, so you do not have to wrestle for a long time with blockages, that you can break through things, grow through things, and become the fullness of who you were created to be. Now, if you find that this is helpful, valuable, important to you and what you're looking to achieve, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, make sure you subscribe. For Pete's sake, subscribe to this stuff so you know when all the other stuff is coming out, and share it with people that you care about, that you want to help break through any blockages that they may have in their lives. So thank you for tuning in as usual. And then remember, I'm doing this for you. So this is not something I have to do. This is something I absolutely want to do, so you can live the life and the lifestyle of your dreams. I'll see you again soon, and take some notes and share. If you're getting the breakthrough, if you just got through some blockages, make sure you're letting the rest of us know. It builds a community of hope, so together we rise and we just keep doing our thing. Take care, and I'll see you soon.